Hi, this is Mike Morales. You're looking and watching Sipping Off the Cuff and Tequila Aficionado Media, a part of tequilaaficionado.com, or maybe the other way around. I'm in San Antonio. That gentleman over there is
Rick Levy in San Diego.
Rick. We're having a good time here because we're so happy that on your own you went out and got yourself. He is such a big fan of Felipe Camarena. We are going to do Pasote tequila. This is brand new on the shores of the United States. This is one of, I guess it's one of 4 different brands from Felipe Camarena.
Now there's a new, I know there is the
There's Terralta.
G4.
There's G4.
There
Terralta is the one that I'm,
Aroma,
right, 1579, which we've already done.
and then there's the Pasote. And what is the new one coming out?
The other one is called Terralta.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, I've only seen pictures. I would love to try, I would love to try. Well, we haven't had any G4 to Tequila Aficionado. I'll be upfront and say that Rick on his own has gotten the whole line, the G4 and the Pasote on his own. We will be picking up with Alex and doing Pasote once we get back from our tour. But tonight I was excited because I want to do this with you. I know you've been raving about it. You've had some. I want to just go on record. I love the graphics. I do. Look at how cool that is.
Yeah.
I love the fact that there are bubbles. There are bubbles, ladies and gentlemen. There are bubbles. All right. Here's what I don't like.
Oh!
Oh, be aware. You're going to have cork problems.
Mine have been fine.
Well, yeah, but
This is
every
my
once in a
second
while,
bottle of the
and that's-
Blanco.
it's okay. Once in a while, you just got to be real careful. Wet the cork. It's a synthetic cork, obviously. But this could happen to you, ladies and gentlemen. just putting it out there. And what's the name on the El Pandillo distillery? Everybody.
1579.
What was that again? 1579.
1579.
Okay. Now, I got to be honest. I have had some, but you and I have not discussed the ins and outs of Pasote. I'm going to use my Riedel glass. You're gonna use the Glencairn, you dog. Now, there's at one point there was a little bit of a problem getting into the importer's website. 3 Badge Mixology is the name of the importer. It's not pristine. Did you notice that it's not like a platinum? It's and I'm sure that there's a reason for it. Now these bottles look like they're hand blown with bubbles through them, but there is a seam on the bottle. It's a very substantial bottle, very heavy. Are you getting any it's not as bright as some of the other Blancos that we've had here. But I love the legs and tears on it. I mean, it's Felipe Camarena.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but I guess you're right. Yeah,
it's a little bit off color, just slightly, and
yeah.
there may be a reason for that. We were very fortunate to get some, not necessarily POS, but some information from the 3 Badge Mixology folks. So as we go along, I'll read some of this information, and there was also a little bit of a write-up in Tasting Panel in the May issue. That's how long we've actually had, I think, Pasote in our queue, and I'm so glad we're finally getting to do it. Now I gotta tell you, so far, from what I've had with El Pandillo, I love the 1579 Blanco. Now
Yeah,
this one,
I'm a big fan of Felipe's work.
He is, after having the 1579 and then trying this, even as a side-by-side, apples and oranges, man.
Yeah, very different profiles.
This, what's your impression of the profile? Because this profile is very prominent, very strong. It doesn't matter if you're using a Glencairn or Riedel, it's gonna come up and meet you. There's no alcohol that I can tell, even at the
No, I'm
bottom.
getting just huge agave, like very, very green aromas. A little bit of mineral.
Now, what I'm getting, I've had before, and I'm gonna be upfront with you, Rick, and I'm gonna tell you that I have had a very similar nose and aroma from another separate tequila. And I don't know what they did. In fact, the tequila came from Nom 1414 from Vivanco and Asociados. This is a much gentler version of the same aroma profile that I got there. It's I'm going to be really blunt. It's sour smelling. It's herbaceous, maybe mushrooms, but almost like almost a sour. And I originally
Maybe some citrus before peak ripeness.
probably I don't know what he's doing to get this aroma, but it's a pungency that it's not it's not offensive. It's just unlike anything that I've ever had in a Blanco, especially since he's still in Arandas, isn't he? Isn't El
Yeah.
Bandido in Arandas?
Jesus Maria Jalisco.
Okay, so it's a Highlands. It's a
Yeah.
Highlands. This is not unlike any Highlands that you've had. I mean, in the aroma category, it's almost like cheesy, like mushroomy, like Parmesan, like I don't know if you're getting that.
I could see Parmesan.
Now, like I said, I have had it much stronger. I originally had this kind of flavor profile in Montelobos mezcal. It had a very pungent, much stronger, of course, because it's at a higher ABV. This is a regular 80 proof tequila, so the pungency was much stronger in the mezcal. This is tapered down, and of course it's tequila, so it's different plant, whole different animal. And
Yeah.
I see this as a trend, Rick. Okay, let me, for those of you who have had it, and we've had it here at Sipping Off the Cuff, Aguila Real from Nom 1414 had a very strong, similar aroma, much stronger, and it transferred into the flavor profile. And if you're interested to know how it went, you can watch that review on Tequila Aficionado. You can go find it on their YouTube channel also. But I'm seeing this as a trend, Rick.
And
This kind of aroma,
I gotta say, I'm digging it.
you like it? Do you like it?
I like it. I like that. It really comes up to meet you. There's, a lot going on there. There's stuff to explore. Um,
It's not boring, that's for sure.
exactly.
It's not a boring tequila. It is not what you're going to expect. What you're expecting from a Highlands tequila. It's not, and it's not even a Lowlands. It's like I have no bar for it, except for what
Yeah.
I've had before.
Well, and Felipe works all the variables.
Yeah, yeah. This has to be the hand of the distiller that's doing
Yeah.
this to it. I'm gonna dive in. I'm just gonna. Wow, hot,
Oh,
peppery.
yeah.
It's peppery, like a white pepper. Um, it says now on the website. First of all, it says crisp, zesty citrus dominates the foreground. Could this be? Could this be like a grapefruit? Would you say it was more grapefruit?
It might have a little bit of that. I do get, I could see like not necessarily citrus juice, citric acid, but citrus zest.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm wondering if maybe they are leaving a little bit of the penca on the.
But it's not bitter. This isn't bitter.
No.
You know, I've had some with that were a little bitter on the back end. I will tell you, it's got a long finish. This baby's got a nice warm finish. It almost like it explodes into pepper in your mouth, and then afterwards, on the finish, it's medium to long. It'll surprise you. You're not going to expect it. You're not going to expect the explosion of pepper in your mouth.
Yeah, it's big.
Oh, this is beefy. This is a beefy Blanco. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna read some of the notes and see if we can't get.
Now, something I know that Felipe does do is Felipe has two water sources that he works with.
Aha! Yes.
Now he captures rainwater, and then he also has a spring-fed well, I believe.
Now, the information I have here on from three from these folks, 3 Badge, they're saying that each is made from a ripe blue agave that is evenly baked and then carefully distilled with pure rainwater and natural spring water in copper pot stills. So this is a blend of water. I know that's a key thing for you, Rick.
I believe the blend on this is 60% spring water, 40% rainwater.
Okay. Okay.
When I believe when we did the 1579, that was a 50-50 mix.
Yes, I remember that is a 50, and it made a complete difference because it really is like another. Look at my glass. Look at all the. Can you see all the beads?
Yeah.
Look at how it just clings to the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And I would venture to say that all of this is natural, of course. But look at what. This guy's crazy, man.
Yeah, the mad scientist.
He's the mad scientist. Of course, he's also known for having that roller mill that we call Frankenstein, because it does. Yeah. It looks like Frankenstein. And
so repurposed steamroller that he studied and made his own.
He made his own machinery.
Tahona.
Yeah, and according to Jake Lustig, apparently that Tahona does impart some sort of flavor, to the profile. I'm not exactly sure what it is, because it's not like a stone or mineral or something that a Tahona would use.
It could be in the way that it's crushing the fibers. Now I've heard that there are some. If you're able to sort of squeeze and crush the fibers without really breaking them up a lot, that can impart a different flavor.
Could be. I think the devil is in the details in this, and I say devil in a good way because that guy, that he's just a cagey son of a gun, and really, what a testament to him. First, he gets 1579, from one aspect, one different importer. Then he gets Pasote with another importer. Then he gets G4 with somebody else. And then he's got Terralta, and I'm not sure who's bringing that into the States. And I can't wait to try Terralta. And I don't even know what to expect. It's like, how does this guy virtually come up with 4 different flavor profiles, 4 different aromas? I mean, yeah. I thought Carlos was nuts.
He has a lot of insight into all the variables that go into the process, which gives him a very large color palette with which to paint.
He's like this Picasso, or or it was like, yeah, I don't know. It's like even artists, like Leroy Neiman, you knew what to expect. It was all going to be sports, and it's always his style. Picasso had his own style. Renoir and all those, but this guy, every time you think you got him pegged, he zigs when you zag. He's like here, he's over here. Like you said, he's got this spectrum, to work with. He doesn't limit himself to what, like Carlos, for instance. He's just got a stamp. Carlos, even though he has separate brands, you just know where they're coming from, right? You don't know where this guy's been or where he's going.
He's gonna surprise you.
Yeah, I'm really virtually surprised. I will say, and Rick, maybe you'll get a chance to get around to some of the other tequilas that I did mention, like Aguila Real from them 1414, Tequila 21, which is coming with us on our Heartland tour. Their version of that smell and flavor profile is like Aguila Real light. Okay, it's very reminiscent, but much lighter. And then there's Pasote, and if you're hardcore, I would suggest going and get a bottle of Montelobos, because there's something, at a higher ABV where whatever they're playing with to make it funky, because it's funky. This is funk bass. This is
got a good bass line.
This has got a great bass line, man. Wow. Let me see if there's anything different that I can read from the information on tasting panel. Let's see here.
Yeah, the information from 3 Badge, they give some tasting notes. They don't talk a lot about the process. They talk about Felipe and, the sustainability of his distillery.
The information I have here, it doesn't give me much as far as the Blanco. So I'm going to... Now, this is interesting, Rick. I will read you this because I know you're a big water guy. Yeah, water is one of those elements that you really are really important to you. And I thought when I read this, it was very interesting to me. We were talking about the rainwater, the combination of rainwater and well water. So this is what it says. For Sebastiani team at 3 Badge Mixology, it's all about the tequila that drives home the flavors of the plant. The roof of their master tequileros distillery is designed to catch as much rainwater as possible, providing critical reserves during the dry season. Water has different pH and minerals and will change the profile of a spirit. For Pasote, 40% rainwater and 60% of water from a spring on the property helps balance the pH and minerality to a level that is preferred.
And that, thinking about that in terms of how it affects the pH, that would have a huge effect during the fermentation process.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. You could have the same yeast that is, producing, a very different proportion of, compounds.
Yeah, I would venture to say that, and I'm not sure because I don't have that information here, but I'd say that the yeast that Felipe uses is proprietary, coming from his own plants, I would imagine, because that's how Carlos does it, and I think that the family continues to do it that way, so that would make more sense to me.
I'm just a huge fan of that. The open vats, the natural yeast.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if the information mentions any of that. How it's it makes the information that we have makes a much more of an argument for the water. The sustainability part of it. It's genius. It really is genius when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get rain, and they get the sizable amount of rain. I'd imagine that when they had the snow too, he was able to capture some of that snow. As long as you filter, of course, the water, because there's no telling what it picks up as it runs off your roof, right? So. Yeah, the only thing I'm getting here as far as information on the Blanco is it has a long, silky finish. And I'm not sure about silky, but it's a long, warm finish.
Yeah.
I
It's a long, juicy finish for
Yeah,
me.
this is a beefy. It's a substantial Blanco. I wouldn't put it in a cocktail, but I'm sure that some people will.
Well, you
Um,
could make some really interesting cocktails with this.
wow. Oh
I
yeah.
would, if I were to try to design cocktails to go with this, I would probably um, look for something outside of your standard citrus mixers. Really take advantage of what's going on with this and do
Use
something.
cheese and mushrooms.
No, I
I'm
don't
getting
think.
Parmesan. I'm getting shrooms. This is really. I mean, like I said, I'm seeing this as a trend. I'm calling it out. This is a trend, and I think that from all the ones that I've had so far that are adopting this trend, I think that Pasote has done it the best way possible, without
Mhm.
it being offensive. Because there's this trend, there is a night and a day just on this trend that I'm seeing, and isn't only affected by the ABV. It's affected by obviously the plant and the hand of the maker.
Yeah.
So whatever they're doing,
Well, and I find it really refreshing
yeah,
because you can get some really big, bold flavors and aromas from agave, but so many of the tequilas that we see have been, muted, for lack of another word, for,
exactly,
acceptability maybe, for
yeah.
what presumed to be the American palate.
The American, well, this is the age of the diffuser. This is the age of stripping things down to make it taste more like vodka. You know, mixology has driven this industry for the last 10, 15 years. And all of a sudden the brakes had been somebody put the brakes on this whole thing, and this trend is going this direction now.
Yeah.
I think also, just to add a couple of other flavor notes and that I'm trying to associate, maybe olives, maybe tomatoes. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
a little bit of that tanginess.
There's a brininess going on as well. There's a
Yeah.
brininess, a tanginess, like you said, tangy. Yeah, that's about right. But you know, right now, Brand of Promise nominee. I'm going to go Brand of Promise nominee in the Blanco category. I don't even know. I don't even know where to put this because he's a legacy account. Even though his first try was Trago, and then he backed away a little bit for a couple of years, but he has come back like gangbusters. So and he's a Camarena. I have to put him in a legacy category if it were me. And what do you think of the packaging? Do you think
I
we
think
should?
it's gorgeous. I always love this kind of hammered looking glass. And I love the graphics.
Yes, I do too. And they're all different. All three are different.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned why. I'm not exactly sure which of these gods it is, but each of the three are different. But anyway, that's our take on Pasote Blanco. Thank you. Three Bads
Definitely a fantastic
Mixology
tequila.
and Felipe. Yeah, because, wow, crazy. What a crazy guy, man. I'd love to have him on interview him and have him on like an open bar or something because, in English or Spanish, it wouldn't matter. Just to hear, I've known Carlos for a long time, and and wasn't even aware that Felipe was around. I should have known better, but I'm really jazzed about this. This is definitely. I can't even call it old school. I think everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised.
New school.
New school, new school, old brain craziness. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio.
Rick Levy in San Diego.
You have been watching Sipping Off the Cuff, where we have been dissecting Pasote Tequila. That's from El Pandillo, Felipe Camarena, and all of those people there. So go out and get it. It is a Brand of Promise nominee in the Blanco Legacy category. By the way, subscribe down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, just subscribe, okay? And as we always like to say, tomar sabiamente.